when we look at content being the fuel of the digital growth engine powering those four gears, we also need to look at the dashboard to give us perspective and insight into how our engine is performing. And this is where data and analytics comes into play. And the role of the dashboard is within the digital growth engine is to take raw data, the ones and the zeros, and to turn it into analytics, which helps you to visualize the data. And from there, you can use the visualized data to gain insights, which empower you to make decisions upon what you need to do more of next, or what you need to stop doing altogether. And this is why when we talk about data and looking at data from the perspective of a dashboard, it's like the dashboard of a plane. Data is going to tell you, and not even data, it's the insights that come from the data, which are powered by the analytics. It's going to tell us whether the plane is ascending or descending. It's going to tell us whether or not we're gaining altitude, what we need to do to course correct. And one of the ways that we look at this specifically when it comes to building a website that sells is through data coming from heat maps and click maps, scroll maps. That's the big data, which we're going to talk more about big data here in a moment, but that provides us context into how our website is being used at the mass aggregate and what we can do to make it even better for those visiting our website. Thinking a little bit further about demystifying data, I want to look at this through the lens and the empathetic lens of consumer behavior. And consumer behavior, for that matter, is at the mass level, at the aggregate level, at the big data level. That's consumer behavior is data. And that informs and can help us optimize the BANCERs Strategy Circle, which is one of the key strategic thinking models that I share in my book, Banking on Digital Growth. Data is what we use to apply the thinking in the first step of the circle, which comes back to the concept that I introduced with the digital growth engine. BANCER is an acronym, BANCER. And the B of BANCER is where we can use data to build an audience to increase website traffic through those targeted emails, through those targeted ads. And on an upcoming podcast, someone else has asked me a question about my thoughts on digital ads. And in fact, my answer is one that combines the insights of emails and ads together. So when we look at data, this is a primary example of the opportunities that we have as financial brands because of all of the data that we do have access to and how we can connect that data back to a specific email address. And what access to data do we have? Well, for example, it's consumer transactions. That might be some primary data that we have, or it might be secondary data a third party owns, and then we license or lease to cross-reference their data with our data to gain even greater insights and tie all of that back to an email address.